Greatness can come from poverty, from pain, from survival. But sometimes, greatness comes from something else entirely. A fiery side, a young man who refuses to be ordinary. Arman Tsarukyan was called the rich kid, a fighter who's supposed to have it easy. But that narrative collapses the moment you study his journey. A journey built on pressure, sacrifice, and a level of obsession few athletes can match. Today, he's the #1 contender UFC lightweight division, the most stacked division in combat sports. This is the real story of Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan was born October 11, 1996, in Makhachev, Georgian town, bordering Armenia. His family was supportive, stable, and hardworking. They were rich. That means that gives their child opportunities. But money never molded his mentality. Arman wasn't chasing wealth, he was chasing excellence. Even in childhood, his competitive drive was unmistakable. While other kids play video games, Arman was sweating on wrestling mats. He trained in freestyle wrestling, judo, sambo, boxing, traditional Armenian combat sports. He wasn't just participating, he was winning. Tournament after tournament, Arman built muscle memory and explosiveness that still defines him today. By the time Arman reached his teens, MMA was exploding across Russia and Eastern Europe. While his peers were dreaming about careers, Arman was already stepping into actual cages. And he wasn't easing his way in. He fought full-grown men, bigger, older, more experienced. In his first professional MMA fight, he lost. Most fighters remember their early losses with bitterness. Arman remembers his with clarity. He fought Shamil Olokono, a powerful opponent with years of experience. Arman was too young, too green, too raw, but instead of breaking, he used his loss as a blueprint. Film study, wrestling tricks, pad session, champions, Armenian glory, their main defeat. Over the next several years, Tsarukyan began crushing through the Eurasian regional MMA scene. He beat durable veterans and rising prospects alike. Notable early wins include Alexander Belik, a well-rounded scrapper with knockout power, Artur Karayev, a heavy-handed pressure fighter, Zogur Gabajidayev, a strong grappler with tricky submission game. In each fight, Arman showed something new: crisp boxing, elite scrambles, dominant top control. Scouts took notice, the UFC took notice, but when they called, they didn't offer a tune-up fight, they offered a monster. The UFC called with a fight most prospects would never take: Islam Makhachev, short notice, full camp for Islam, high altitude, hostile crowd, a nightmare debut. But Arman said yes immediately. This wasn't a chance to win, it was a chance to prove he belonged. On April 20th, 2019, Arman stepped into the octagon for the first time in UFC. Islam was already Khabib's protege, already viewed by many insiders as a future champion. Most fans expected a blowout, but what followed was one of the most insane grappling battles in UFC history. Arman stuffed takedowns, reverse positions, hit explosive switches and scrambles that had commentary screaming. It wasn't just competitive, Arman out-grappled Islam in moments. Islam won the decision, but Arman walked away with a fight of the night bonus and the respect of the entire lightweight division. His stock skyrocketed. After a Makhachev fight, Tsarukyan faced Oliveira Mercier, a seasoned grappler and former tough finalist. On paper, it was a trap fight. OIM was durable, experienced, and rarely overwhelmed. But Arman shut him down everywhere. Timing, scrambles, pressure. A clean, unanimous decision solidified him as a rising threat. Next came Davi Ramos, a world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Fear for his submissions. Arman didn't avoid him. He outstruck Ramos, he out-wrestled him, he neutralized one of the most dangerous grapplers in the UFC, and won. Next, Frevola. Arman fought a powerful brawler known for his toughness. Fans expected chaos. Instead, they got domination. Arman set a UFC lightweight record with 10 takedowns. Frevola had no answers. It was one of the one-sided fights in the UFC history. Tsarukyan wasn't just winning, he was sending messages. Next, he fought Christos Giagos. Arman overwhelmed him instantly, dropped him, and pounded him out in the first round. Then Joel Alvarez, a massive lightweight standing at 6'3", riding a wave of momentum. Fans thought Alvarez might be a trap fight. Instead, Arman destroyed him. His ground and pound was savage, one of the most brutal beatdowns in recent memory. By this point, the division knew Arman Tsarukyan was a future contender. Then came his toughest UFC fight to date: Mateusz Gamrot, a two-time KSW champion, elite grappler, and a former undefeated phenom. This was a matchup of two elite wrestlers, two scramblers, two future title contenders. The fight delivered. non-stop transitions, insane scramble sequences, both fighters refusing to break. Gamrat won a razor-close decision, but many allies scored the fight for Arman. It was a loss, but elevated his stock even further. He could hang with the best of the best. After the Gamrat fight, Arman built his momentum. For Joaquim Silva, Arman dropped him, hurt him badly, and finished him in the third round. Then came Damir Ismagulov, a fighter many consider as a top 5 talent. Damir entered UFC at 23-1 and had never been dominated until Arman Tsarukyan. Arman out-wrestled him, outstruck him, and controlled every second of the fight. This win officially put him in the doorstep of contention. Next came his statement fight, Neil Dariush, the perennial contender, undefeated in 8 of his last 9 fights, brutally strong on the mat and dangerous everywhere. This was the test, this was his moment, and Arman delivered the biggest performance of his career. A blistering first-round knockout, a message of very light when on earth, I'm ready for the title. Tsarukyan today is a complete fighter, reach wrestling, world-class scrambling, sharp, explosive striking, championship-level cardio, high IQ. He then went to fight Charles Oliveira, and we all know who Charles Oliveira is. Probably one of our favorite fighters and one of the best fighters in the UFC. He was dominating Charles Oliveira. He almost got caught in the end of that fight, but he dominated most of the fight, most of the exchanges. Like, Charles Oliveira is so dangerous on the feet. He finishes people, but not with Arman. Arman outstruck him, got a decision, and put one of the greatest champions out with a loss. Lastly, this weekend, he fought Dan Hooker, tall, explosive Kiwi striker known for the wars with Dustin Poirier and Paul Felder. Hooker brought experience, reach, and granite chin. The fight was chaos. Both men exchanged brutal shots. Arman showcases of old boxing, landing sharp counters and mixing takedowns beautifully. Hooker fought with heart, but Arman pressure and accuracy forced him backward repeatedly. It was a high-level striking battle that proved one thing: Tsarukyan is no longer just a grappler, he's a dangerous striker too. He then finished Dan with a beautiful submission and celebrated the fight with his father, Hamzat, and team members of his team. From fighting grown men as teenager to bringing Islam Makhachev to war, to knocking out lead contenders, to beating legends like Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan didn't have greatness handed to him. He built it. Money doesn't make a champion, work does, obsession does, heart does, and Arman Tsarukyan has all 3. If you enjoyed this documentary, hit like, subscribe, share, and tell me who you want to see next. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.